Alright guys, we are now sitting in the car. Obviously we are sitting in the car. Alright, so let's talk about the interior. As we all know by looking at the build, because we are intelligent 911 guys, we know this car was born with a black interior. Man, the AC is kicking. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. It was born with a black interior, sport seats, and carbon trim. All right. When I got the car, carbon trim was still there. It had comfort seats in it, as we saw. As we see when we look at the Cars and Bids auction, and it had that whatever brand stereo, which is now in the dump. So the carbon trim, as we know, it doesn't age well, cracks. Somebody had tried to get the cluster out and they pried on this little thing and they cracked it all up there. It just looked, and then I guess when they replaced the radio, they pried on the horseshoe and the horseshoe was cracked. It just looked tired. Mechanically, the car was great. Well, the wheels and tires looked terrible. But the cosmetically, the interior, it didn't do anything for me. It didn't pop. It was very, it was just there, which is okay, but I wanted to try to find a way to make this one stand out a little bit. So first I pulled all the carbon fiber trim off, and I just went with black, because I have all that stuff. And it was okay, but it was just black. Okay. So then I started poking around and I found the car that donated the wheels, tires, front splitter, tail lights, etc. And when that car was born, it was 104 or something. It was a crazy spec 4S. So it had this full leather gray interior with the red deviated stitching, and it had the large Illume look package, which is center vents, instrument surround, the bezel right here, speaker grills, and center console, side vent, dash trim, speaker grill. Oh yeah, something else. When I got, so the guy who bought it, who won the auction on Cars and Bids, it was really unfortunate. There was some carbon fiber sticky stuff like down here and on the glove box, and I did my best. I used a heat gun to try to get it off, but it pulled some of, not on this dash, on the black dash, it pulled some of the black leather off. It was just bad. And then the rear view mirror, this has the auto dim. The one in the car was in just bad shape. This one does. It's really, I just want to point this out because I like to disclose everything I know. There's one section right here. So this is the auto dim, right? You can kind of see it right there. It's really hard to notice. Then there's a spot right here. Again, really hard to notice, where the mirror finish, or the whatever's in there, liquid, I guess, for the auto dim, it's starting to, okay, let's turn that off. It's starting to, lights work. Let's turn these off then. It's starting to fail, but it's right, and it's really hard to see. So anyway, I just didn't know what to, I wanted to make the car pop. I wanted to make it unique. I wanted to freshen it up. So I found the C4S. It also had factory, the C4S had the deviating carpet, which meant from the factory. Okay, so this is factory. Gray leather top, black carpet, right? And then the car itself had black carpet, which this one already had. And then it was a cab, so it had the black roof. So I already had the black A-pillars, the black headliner. So it all worked. It all just fit really nicely. So I spent 3 days and I switched everything. Dashboard, airbags, steering wheel. It was a lot of work. It was absolutely a ton of work. But the result is awesome. I think it looks incredible. So there are a few. So the donor car had like 80-ish thousand miles. So there are some, on the seats, there's a little dingo there. On the door panels, there's a little scratch there. On the driver's side, this is pretty common from grabbing the door. That's kind of like, so you can get perspective there. But it makes it unique. It's really cool. These are leather, leather stitched side vents. This is leather. It's not just the plastic. So it was really, you had leather key surround, leather door. So this is leather stitched. It was really neat. And I said, to hell with it, I'm going to go for it. So it took me 3 full days because then I had to put the donor stuff, I had to kind of put it back in the other car because I don't have storage room for it. So basically I did 2 complete swaps. Well, 1.5, I guess. Okay. So, next thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about the rear. So as you may or may not know, the rear door panels are different on a cab. So I got the door panels out of this car. I got the rear coupe door panels. I took them to my interior guy, and he color matched the paint code. I mean, he dyed, which is basically just professionally painted, at the top of the door panel. So we have the deviating carpet carries to the back like it's supposed to. The only difference is we do not have the red stitching in the back, which is unfortunate, but I had to improvise. So kind of, it is what it is type deal. And you can see the color is a little different. The way he explained it to me was so the door panel in the back is the correct color. You can see the speaker grill matches about perfectly. The speaker obviously being from the C4S. The door panel is just old, 20 years old of wear and dirt. I hate to say dirt, but just, leather ages. So that's kind of what we got going on. Same behind me on the driver's side. The seat backs are the same. So we have the red stitching on the back. I had to source bottoms from a coupe that do not have the red stitching, unfortunately. But it's in the back. The car is tinted, so there's not a whole lot of light going back there. We obviously don't spend a lot of time in the back of our 911s. So it's minor. But in the interest of full disclosure, I wanted to let everybody know what was going on. All right, let's talk about the center tunnel. So I did what I thought looked best. I went with gray floor mats. I have lots of set of black floor mats. I will happily switch out black floor mats for the buyer. I have a black, now it's not leather, I have a black horseshoe. I have a black, well, you want to leave that gray. I have a black horseshoe. I will switch that out if you want. I have this in black. I have, I have this in black, so I can do these in black. I have a gray gear surround. I can switch that. I do not have a gray shift knob. I do not have a gray e-brake. Okay. I have that in gray. I have this in gray. I have this in gray. I could get that paint matched. I do not have that in gray. And then the side pieces, these little trim pieces down here, I have those in gray. So I kind of arranged this to what I think looked good. I think the silver with the black, and then it picks up the black carpet in the back. It picks up the deviated door panels. It picks up the center stack being black, the black buttons. It picks up the black roof. I think it works. If you as the buyer have a different preference, no problem. I will switch that all out to gray. Absolutely zero worries. All right, let's talk about the radio. As you can see in the Cars and Bids auction, it had like a, I don't even remember what, the wiring. So the amp had been taken out, the Bose amp. Okay. I believe this car probably had a CDR 23 when it was new. Now those are a fiber optic. It's a fiber optic system. The fiber optics are still in the car. The problem with the CDR 23s is you cannot take a CDR 23 out of a different car and put it in. It won't work. The CDR 23s are only good for the VIN number of the car they came out of. So in the interest of bringing it back to stock, I had I have lots of 220s. So I got a 220, one with a CD player, meaning not a tape deck. I obviously have the radio code that's on the option sticker. I had to redo some of the wiring, the power and all that, and the speakers and everything. So I got it working. It is working. Obviously it's working.
ForThePeople.com for an office.
So if I like just the radio, but if you want this would be a good double DIN swap. I'd leave it up to the buyer. And then obviously you pop the climate down there. If you want one of the climate trims for this panel with a little, with the uptick right there, I have multiple surrounds. I will gladly include one. That is absolutely no problem whatsoever. Okay, so that's the interior swap. Everything works right. Everything fits right. The only places I had to improvise were the rear door panels and then the rear seat bottoms. And then I did what I think looks best on the trim. If you want gray, no worries. If you want black there, no worries. If you want black on the horseshoe, no problem. I can do it. Okay, we're pushing 12 minutes. I really hope y'all watch this because there's a lot of information. So real quick, we're gonna do Everything Works. I hope everybody sticks with me on these long videos. Back, seat back, functioning, bottom, everything's good there. Up, down, check. Cubbies are good, no broken hinges. Window drop down, check. We did our light walk around. Both our front and our back poppers, check. Engine compartment, good. Front pop, good. Driver's seat, all the electronics function like they should. Window drop down, check. So even the mirror surround is leather on the donor car, which this one has now. That is super cool. Okay, mirrors, check. Mirror, check. Okay. So both the visor covers are long gone. Like most of these, there's you can get repops off Amazon or eBay. They're okay. I've done a few of them. I kind of quit installing them because if you want to do that, you can. All right, turn signals, check. Onboard computer, check. No messages. Okay, we got the mileage. Everybody sees the mileage. Gauges, everything functioning properly. Do our wipers. Okay, check. Horn, good. Cruise, I've used it. Just to kind of take my word for it on that one. Cup holder. Oh, they all stick a little bit. Both are good. Use that at your own peril. Locks, check. Rear defrost, you can turn off PSM if you so choose. Rear wiper. Good there. Okay, that might be everything. Tiptronic shifting, obviously, well, not obviously, but we're not moving, but you can see it'll go in a second because we're stationary. Everything is good there. Okay, we did our lights. AC will absolutely freeze you out. When I was in there, when I had the dash out, someone had already gone in and completed the repair on the blend doors for the foam, so the heater will absolutely melt your face. Still see the little residue of the foam still coming out there. AC is, I mean, it will freeze. It'll freeze you out. It's crazy. Okay, so we went over the stereo. It is wired in properly, meaning it holds memory. Those are all my stations there. Okay. Yep, good. Windows, they work, obviously. Let's see. Ashtray stays open. Where's the fuse puller? It's probably from the forest. Hinge is good on this one. And like I said, I could do this in gray. I can do this in gray. I can do this in gray. I don't have this in gray, but I can get my interior guy. He still has some dye. When I say dye, it's basically paint. So we could get this in gray for the buyer. Now, it would be the gray. It would be that gray. So it might be a little off. I think it looks cool in black with the tunnel. That's just that's me. Okay. We went over that. We went over that. All right, guys. I guess that's it. Long interior video, but I hope this answers a lot of questions for folks. Okay, cool. I hope we have a fun auction. It's a great car, and I'm here for questions. Thanks.